forum for innovators, entrepreneurs, investors, and other startup enthusiasts. This forum is organized by AHUB and its partners. AHUB is an independent Section 8 company constituted within Andhra University. AHUB has a two-part mission. One, it is a regular incubator with all the usual support services of any incubator. The second, it also leads the institution's Innovation Council of Andhra University. In its second role, AHUB promotes and encourages innovation and entrepreneurship among students and faculty on campus and in the region. Before we begin, let's introduce ourselves. We have a couple of new faces. While the mic is being set. No, it's not working. Anjasnari. Okay, while we wait for the mics to set up, let's move on. A warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This forum's purpose is to establish and build an integrated ecosystem with a variety of supports for entrepreneurs. It is open to everyone and we hope you will take full advantage of it by participating and contributing. If you're wondering what can and does happen in these sessions, here is a brief outline. Show Me the Money. This is a segment where Bhavna is no longer with us. One of our staff or volunteers will present details about a grant and provide dates and few details of other sources of money. Then we have a technical talk. Each session has a different topic, bringing in experts, sharing their expertise and experience. Then we have pitching of startups. We have a slot for you if you pitch your company, regardless of the stage you're at. It is always good to be practicing your pitch. As some of our startups found out, they met with few experts from Netherlands last week and or this week. And the feedback for us from the Netherlands experts is that they need to practice pitching. All the startups that worked with or met with the experts from Netherlands gave them the impression that all of us need to practice our pitching. So we have slots for pitching your startups. Please utilize it. Idea pitches. Slots for ideas are always available. If you have an idea, please go ahead and share it. It can only get better. Open mic. If someone feels inspired and wants to share an idea, this is the place to share and get some good feedback. Any thoughts are also welcome. This will be towards the end of the session. So mics are ready? Okay. Why don't you pass the mic around and let people introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Krishna. I'm the scientific director at AGN Dynamic. So we are a sector agnostic R&D company, and we basically focus on developing the technologies, getting it to commercialization. We don't mind partnering with other companies. We license, and we also home grow some programs for eventual spin-outs.
Hi, this is Naveen. I'm a SRK and LSL transportation owner.
Good evening, myself Shivani. I'm working as content strategist and also intern at AHUB.
Hello all, my name is Rishi and I am an intern at AHUB.
Good afternoon, my name is Srinivas. I help Divakar and Ravi at AHUB.
Good afternoon to one and all. Myself is Jankiram. I'm the founder of Zenitza Beverages Private Limited.
Thank you. Here are a few basic rules before we commence the meeting. Kindly put your mobile phones on silent mode. Please refrain from entering or exiting the session while the speaker is delivering their presentation. Please wait until the speaker concludes their session. Please refrain from cross-talk or side conversation. It is distracting. If you are pitching today and have a presentation, please send your presentations to Pranav now. It will keep the program on track and avoid unnecessary technical delays. We run a tight program. Kindly note that a pitch is allowed a maximum time of 10 to 15 or 10 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes to present, and 3 to 4 minutes for Q&A. We kindly ask all presenters to adhere to the allocated time to ensure a smooth flow of the event. We request the audience to reserve your questions for the designated Q&A period unless the speaker allows questions in the middle of their presentation. Now, continuing with the session, Rishi is here to present on Startup India Investor Connect portal. Are you connecting that?
Good afternoon, everyone. So, in today's session of Show Me the Money, our discussion will take a different direction from what we have previously explored. Today, we'll look into a portal specifically designed to bridge the gap between startups and investors. So, the Startup India Investor Connect is a platform that connects startups with investors to facilitate investment opportunities through AI-based matchmaking. Through this, entrepreneurs will be able to directly reach out to multiple investors using one single application and pitch their startup ideas. So the intent behind building this platform is not just to connect startups to investors, but also to promote entrepreneurship and accelerate engagements across diverse sectors, stages, geographies, and backgrounds. So the key features of the portal include providing investment opportunities, algorithm-based matchmaking, and also we have discussed earlier, it is just the connection between investors and startups, but as we know, it is more in emerging cities. And finally, it creates a virtual market. The platform has created a virtual marketplace for investors to find innovative startups suitable for their needs. So the eligibility criteria is pretty simple. You just need to have a DBIT registration, and you need to be an early stage startup. Key metrics as usual, generally market validation, revenue generation, potential, scalability, financial. And coming to how it works, you need to create a profile. The USP in this profile is that you can control what is and what isn't visible to your profile visitors. And next step is to apply for investments. You can search for the right investment partner suitable for your business. You can also apply to investment requirements of investors. And you start unlocking investment opportunities. Once your profile is validated, corporate investors and VCs seeking your innovation will be able to connect with you. For more detailed information, please do scan the QR code and visit the website. If you have any queries, you can always reach out to our team at our.
So, if you go to the portal, we need to upload all our documents, including financials and all that, or does it ask for more details?
It does ask for more details, but not that extensive. And based on the investors' requirements, we'll get to contact them directly.
And do we have any types of investors? What types of investors are there?
General VCs, angel investors.
Okay, so this is not for seed fund.
No. Thank you.
So when you're saying we need to put in like information, is it like a pitch deck level information or what is it asking? Compare it to ES6, like how's it compared? FS6.
Can you,
Oh, he doesn't.
can you,
Okay, so I'm just curious, how much and what is the minimum amount of information they need over here?
Is it okay if I show you a picture?
Yeah, sure. That even easier.
So this is the basic information we have.
can you zoom in?
Okay. Cloud solution, business strategy. You need to create all of that as a profile.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not nothing, right? That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of info, but I'm guessing you can have a partial.
When you compare it with the DPID registration, etc.
Is that clickable? Like about company, can you see what's about the letter?
So this is a picture.
Just an image.
It's a picture.
I
It's an
should
image.
log into
Okay.
I mean, it's fairly detailed information if I was gonna do like comparative analysis.
So this is not for seed funding, so business is further along. Assumption is the
I mean,
startup is further along and they have-
Assuming where you can pull in money, right? Like if it's still angel and everything, it is still seed, pre-seed money. So, cool, thank you.
So let's move on to the main part of today's session. Before I invite today's speaker, a few words about our future session. If you're wondering how we pick our speakers for these technical sessions, here is a brief explanation. We focus at 4 levels to explore entrepreneurship and bring you the best of ideas and depth of understanding. We look at the individual, the company, the sector, and the ecosystem. Each level has a distinct set of challenges and opportunities, suitable set of skills and resources, and provides a level of understanding of entrepreneurship. If you're already an entrepreneur, these talks will help you understand the journey. If you're considering it or are just exploring, these talks will give you a great intro into the journey. Today we'll focus on the sector. Actually, we've been focusing on sectors for some time now, for several sessions. There is a reason for that. There is more focus on trying to generate problem statements. So today we'll focus on electrical distribution. Full disclosure, I know very little about electrical distribution. So electrical distribution companies play a critical role in our lives. They are responsible for effective and efficient distribution of electricity from the producers to consumers. And Avinash will correct me if I got this wrong. We're all connected to the grid and we draw our electricity from that grid. This is a world I know very little about, other than that we have many challenges and it is not easy to keep it all together. Mr. Avinash from KPMG is here to give us an overview. Startup Saturdays is turning out to be a forum for generating and compiling problem statements for all the innovators and entrepreneurs to solve. Mr. Avinash earned a degree in electrical engineering, bachelor's in engineering, and then an MBA in power management. As an assistant manager at KPMG, he has been consulting with AP EPTCL. He will provide us an overview of the power distribution sector and present a few problem statements. So let's welcome Mr. Avinash.
power sector and AP Power was not audible.
To speak, but no, it's never, but you need to speak a little louder.
Achha, I'll speak.
Thank you.
Straight into the mic.
Yeah. So we'll discuss about the power sector and the AP power sector overview also. Along with that, we'll discuss about the problem statements which will be held in the APA Hub Hackathon at November 24th, I guess so. Yeah. So why electricity is important? So first thing is electricity plays a major role in everyone's lives. So it has been into without electricity nothing can be happen in the daily life. So it also plays a major role in driving the economic growth like GDP and GSDP and all for the country. So what sectors the electricity use, like for example, consider the manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector requires electricity 24/7 for the production activities and all. In case everywhere, like in hospital sectors, in the major sectors like communication and healthcare sectors, everything. So if we can see the per capita energy consumption, it's been increasing year on year. This simply signifies that our economy and standard of living have been increased from over the life. Next we'll discuss how the electricity sector has been evolved. Okay, so electricity is a concurrent subject, which means that not only a state has a power to legislate, but the central government has a power to legislate accordingly. So starting from 1910, Indian electricity has been evolved. These are the policy basically evolved, where the licensing for supply of electricity has been provided. Means like for distribution there is a license. You need to take for maintaining a distribution company, you need to take a license. For maintaining a transmission company, you need to take a license. But for generating company, there is no requirement of license. Any individual can start a generating company. So after that, in 1948, electricity supply has come, wherein they have been formed as SEBs, like State Electricity Board, which the State Electricity Board is an integration of generation, distribution, and transmission. So they have introduced this SEB concept in 1948. After that, after 1959, a formation of APSEB basis on the Electricity Supply Act, APSEB has been formed, where all the three activities have been carried out. Then IPP policy. IPP policy is nothing but any individual can set up a generating station based on its private investment. IPP means like independent private producer. So then after that, AP Reforms Act has come, wherein unbundling of APSB has been happened. Like the SEB has been divided into separate entities of generation, transmission, and distribution. Next, the Electricity Act has come, followed like surpassing all the acts before. They have mainly ensured that competitive market should be enabled, so that like now the distribution sector is a monopoly sector. Either you want supply, you want to have a supply, you need to take it from AP EPDCL or AP CPDCL or AP SPDCL. But it has created a competitive market, creating a open access thing. Next we'll be discussing about the pillars of the power sector. These four are the pillars of the power sector, basically generation, transmission, and distribution. Right now, currently at India level, nation level, it's 450 gigawatt of installed capacity is there, comprising of thermal, nuclear, hydro, small hydro, biopower, wind, and solar. Then the transmission. The total transmission capacity is 12,69,000 MVA. Then and then the distribution, we have in the nation, we have around 72 distribution, comprising 44 state discoms, 15 private discoms, and 13 power departments. Then the end users, which are us, like they are around 33 crores of consumers, wherein availing the electricity. Then, so why I said these are the pillars. If any one of them breaks down, the total system goes into blackout state. This you can see the power power sector overview, where here you can see the generating station which generates energy, and here it's step up transformer is used to step up the voltage of the generating voltage of the power. Then it is transmitted to long distances. Then to supply to the consumer, again it step down to the voltage wherein the consumer can use it. So basically, power generating stations means there are state generating stations, central generating stations, independent power, thermal, coal, gas, and non-conventional energy. Then, as I said, transmission, we have PGCL, which is centrally associated transmissions. And then AP Transco is the state level. Then we have, apart from this, we have SLDC, which is the operators, which manages the load of the system, so that there won't be any disruptive action happening in the system. And there are SERCs and CERCs along with that, which take care of the which are the regulators of the electricity department. SERC takes care of the state, and CERC takes care of the central general station and central like PGCL. These are as I said, the who takes care of the center and who takes care of the private is mentioned over here. The policy making, everything is from the central as well as state also. State has their own policies, central has their own policies. Then the plan for 15-year operating period is made by the CEA, that is Central Electricity Authority. And then the regulations are provided by CERC and SERC as well. SERC in state purposive. Then the generation, there are central generating stations and GENCOs in state also. Then with regard to transmission, there are centrally transmission and state transmission also. And the system operators are in NLDC and RLDC and SLDC. Distribution, it comes in distribution only. State only is the power of the distribution. Trading licensee, in center only the trading licensee, center and state has trading licensee where they buy power from the generators and sell to the distribution companies, and they avail some trading margin accordingly. Appellate tribunal, it is in the center only. Then these are the roles of the regulator.
Yeah, there's a lot of information. I'm really interested in what you have to say, but we'll get to it.
No, I mean, he had a serious lecture planned on it. I was like, okay, lot of information.
Yeah, one of the things we are debating to do, we're trying to strategize to do it, is every lecture that happens here will turn into a blog post.
That's actually good.
Yeah, that way we have a
repository.
Yeah.
The other thing is,
and post all the presentations there.
it's actually a faster way. In the country, like Nailport of path and recording is over. It's easier for me to just read rather than.
Yeah, many of us do that. There's so much downtime in recordings. Much gaps in time.
Like recording చూడాలి వినాలి అంటే నాకు చిరాకు వచ్చి I just read it as faster. Like everybody sends these recordings and I'm like, no, just send me the page for the rest of it.
Slow. Wow, this is really slow. Not that too much.
Yeah.
Not that too much. No, either not the same thing.
Sir, Canva link will have it.
Canva. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Canva.
Okay.
Go ahead.
can have, but you have 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 minutes.
Okay. Good evening to one and all. నా పేరు జానకిరామ్. ఐఎమ్ ద ఫౌండర్ ఆఫ్ జెనెట్జా బెవరేజెస్ ప్రైవేట్ లిమిటెడ్. సో మీ అందరికీ తెలుసు, చిన్నప్పుడు మనం చాలా స్పోర్ట్స్ ఆడేటప్పుడు, కానీ అది కొంతమంది పీపుల్ అది ప్రొఫెషనల్గా యాజ్ అ కెరియర్గా చూస్ చేసుకున్నారు. కానీ స్పోర్ట్స్ కెరియర్లో కూడా ప్రొఫెషనల్గా కన్వర్ట్ అవ్వే వాళ్ళు కూడా చాలా వరకు మిస్ చేసే ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ ఏంటి అంటే ప్రాపర్ ఫిజియోథెరపీ కానీ, న్యూట్రిషన్ హైడ్రేషన్ కానీ, ఇంకా ప్రాపర్ స్టాఫ్ ఆఫ్ కోచింగ్ కానీ, ఇంకా ఫిజియాలజీ కానీ, అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఆఫ్ ద స్పోర్ట్ లైక్ స్పోర్ట్స్ ఆంథ్రోపోమెట్రీ, ఇలా చాలా ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో జెనెట్జబ్ అనే కంపెనీ, వీ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చర్ స్పోర్ట్స్ బెవరేజెస్ అండ్ వీ ఫోకస్ ఆన్ ద సెగ్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ hydration nutrition. And coming to the problem, so as Zenitza, we are focusing on the 3 segments of pre, post and during. So here you can see the way what we are doing exactly. సో దీన్ని బట్టి మీకు అర్థమై ఉంటుంది, ఒక ప్లేయర్కి న్యూట్రిషన్ హైడ్రేషన్లో ఒక వాటర్ తాగడం కానీ లేకపోతే ఒక సోడా తాగడం వల్ల రికవర్ అవ్వడం చాలా అది ఇంపార్టెంట్ కాదు. 3 ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్లేయర్ టైంలో లైక్ ప్రీ, పోస్ట్ అండ్ డ్యూరింగ్, ఈ 3 యాక్టివిటీస్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అనమాట. సో దీన్ని అడ్రస్ చేస్తూ వీ హ్యావ్ ఐడెంటిఫైడ్ దిస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ టు ఎన్ష్యూర్ ఎస్పెషలీ ఆన్ ద గ్రాస్ రూట్ లెవెల్. సో ఇప్పుడు ఈ 3 ఛాలెంజెస్ అనేవి not only the professional, not only the beginner, not only the intermediate. It can be any sport, any player, all over the world. It's a common thing. So, ఇప్పుడు సొల్యూషన్ డిజైన్కి వస్తే సొల్యూషన్ డిజైన్కి వస్తే బేసికలీ అ ప్లేయర్ హీ నీడ్స్ ఎనర్జీ అనేది బేసిక్గా 3 phases-లో ఉంటుంది, ప్రీ, పోస్ట్ అండ్ డ్యూరింగ్, వాట్ ఐ టోల్డ్ యూ బిఫోర్. సో ఈ సొల్యూషన్ డిజైన్ మేము ఎలా డిజైన్ చేసామంటే, యాటమ్ని ఒక రెఫరెన్స్గా తీసుకొని, ఇఫ్ యాటమ్ ఇస్ అ ప్లేయర్, యాటమ్లో 3 ఎసెన్షియల్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి. వన్ ఇస్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్, న్యూట్రాన్ అండ్ ప్రోటాన్. ఈ ఎలక్ట్రాన్ అనేది revolving around the nucleus, it is during the match, and the proton is the pre-match and the neutron is the post-match. ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్ ని రెఫరెన్స్ గా తీసుకొని as a functionality and reference గా తీసుకొని we have been taken a 3 trademarks. So especially మా solution design లో ఈ 3 things will be coming in a 3-in-1 kit to ensure the player ability to reach his potential heights. సో దాన్ని బట్టి ఇంకోటి మేము ఏమి ఐడెంటిఫై చేసామంటే, మెజారిటీ ఆఫ్ ద క్లబ్స్ లో అన్అవైలబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ద స్పోర్ట్స్ న్యూట్రిషనిస్ట్ అనేది ఉంది. సో ఇది ఎందుకు వస్తుంది అంటే, ఇప్పుడు ఒక స్పోర్ట్స్ న్యూట్రిషనిస్ట్ అనేది రియల్గా అవైలబుల్గా లేకపోతే కన్సిస్టెన్సీ ఆఫ్ ద హైడ్రేషన్ న్యూట్రిషన్ అనేది చాలా ఇర్రెలవెంట్గా ఉంటుంది. దాన్ని క్యారీ ఫార్వర్డ్ చేయడానికి మేము ఒక టెక్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ చేస్తున్నాం ఈ సొల్యూషన్ డిజైన్లో. ఆ టెక్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ ఏంటి అంటే, వీఆర్ ఇంటిగ్రేటింగ్ ద క్యూఆర్ విచ్ విల్ బి కనెక్టింగ్ టు ద చాట్ బోట్. ఈ చాట్ బోట్ అనేది మా వెబ్సైట్కి కానీ మా యాప్కి కానీ ఇంటిగ్రేట్ అయి ఉంటుంది. యాజ్ పర్ ద గేమ్, మీరు ఒక ఫుట్బాల్ ప్లేయర్ అయినా, క్రికెటర్ అయినా, వాలీబాల్ ఆడేవారైనా, ఎవరైనా సరే, యాజ్ పర్ ద గేమ్ వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అ డైట్ యూ నీడ్ టు ఫాలో, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ దట్ విల్ బి చాట్ బోట్ విల్ బి హెల్పింగ్ యూ ఫ్రమ్ ద స్క్రాచ్. సో ఇది ఈ సర్వీస్ అనేది నైస్ టు హ్యావ్ కింద ఇంక్లూడెడ్ చేసి వీఆర్ పుషింగ్ ఫర్ ద ప్లేయర్స్ వేర్ ఎవర్ ద అన్అవైలబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ద న్యూట్రిషనిస్ట్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద సొల్యూషన్ వీఆర్ డిజైన్. And this is how the formula it looks. All the 3 categories of the pre-match, post-match and during the match, the consistency of the solution will be the same, and you will be getting the 3 different variants. One is the compressed package of pouch which will be the travel convenience, and the other you will be getting as an RTD, and you will be getting another form as a sachets as well. You can directly mix with the water and you can use it. So basically pre-match lo you need a carbs, and during the match you need some electrolytes with salts, whatever the essentials, and the post match you need the protein to build your muscle fibers. So as per that the consistency will be same, and you will be getting a better assurance with our product what we are designing. And this is the base we are using as the natural base like Kukum. It's a southern part which is widely available. With this base we are creating the initial product of Electrona, and this is having a natural benefits of cooling the body of the player and hydrating in a very quick manner. All the things will be available naturally, so that's the reason we have been incorporate Kukum as our primary ingredient to develop Electron. And this is my team, and I'm the founder, and we having the expertise to develop this formulation, and also the sports nutritionist, and also the sales and marketing. Recently we have been taken in as to establish the strong team to push a promising venture into the market with a viable product. And this is my scientific advisory team from Geetham University. These people are like guiding commercially and also the technically to develop the product and to understand the sports ecosystem, what kind of requirements they need especially. So according to that, these people are like helping my venture from external. And this is the value proposition. Yeah, and this is the achievements what we have been received so far from the Derby incubation from the Bangalore. This is the fellowship we have received, like validating our startup and also to incorporate and the further to be done whatever the required in the startup things and all. Yeah, this is the initial go-to-market strategy, and so I have told you like even the coaches are also playing the multiple roles of giving their own self-suggestions to the players. Instead of that, we will train coaches by using some webinars and all these things. By that way, the players will be ensure a right guidance from the grassroots level, even though the nutritionist is not available, and also they will be also the prime promoters, and they will be also getting some the revenue based of selling our kits in their respective clubs. So this is what my entire startup. So we are open for the Q&A.
Okay, I always have questions.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, what is your next milestone?
Next milestone. Actually, after developing the hydration drink for the three aspects and what I've told you, the solution design, we are coming with the biomechanics. So basically, biomechanics is a concept where it's a part of a subject of kinesiology. So we are developing a device which is integrating with an app. So basically, what the device it will do means, so if you're a player, you're struggling to have a right player cover drive or a pull shot, you're facing some issues. The player need to be identified with the help of coach, but still is unable to cope up with. So our device actually what will do means it will come with a set of sensors actually. The sensors will be attached to the player in the practice session. The app will be integrating with a video capture. It will be easily analyze the game and it will give the metrics of how the player have to be playing. So that is the milestone in the future we want to get.
No, but what is your current milestone? Because this
current,
sounds like a completely different idea from what you guys are doing.
Yeah, okay. The current milestone.
Yeah, e-business ki make a next milestone ఏంటి?
The next milestone, we have been spoken with a couple of clubs, and we want to integrate with all the southern states clubs, and we want to explain the concept awareness the first, and
Okay.
that's what we want.
So మీరు మాట్లాడిన clubs తో try చేస్తున్నారు already? Ring try చేస్తున్నారు?
Recently Geethamlo R&Dకి trials ఇచ్చాం, but the users who are the consumers, they told it's not much efficient what they're used in the current, I mean like the products and all. We are doing some refinement.
So you're still at the stage of taking the drink?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a basis of why it's not efficient as compared to what they're trying to right now?
So the reason one is we're using a natural base, right? It will take some time to work in your body.
Yeah, basically your activity.
Activity
might
type.
be high. So how are you addressing that?
We are addressing with a completely natural way. It's a consistent way of usage of the product. So we are ensuring the players to, if we are using for the long run, it will get you the results. We are trying to tell like that.
So you're trying to change the marketing, like the usage instructions is what you change.
Yeah, user instructions basically. Yeah, absolutely.
So do you have funding for the things that you're talking about right now? Like the,
Yeah.
So your key activities are R&D,
R&D,
then doing the awareness.
Yeah.
Do you have funding for that?
Yeah. We already applied for the Geetham prototype fund for 1 lakh.
That's only 1 lakh.
Yeah. It's 1 lakh. Basically, it comes in 2 phases, 2 to 3 phases. So the first phase we already got, we have been started, and the next phase we will be available.
Okay.
It's like a concept like proving, and next week we are addressing the what we want to do. So it's evidence what we have been shown, what we have did in the past. So that's what we will be getting the.
Okay. Let's talk after.
Yeah,
because
sure,
I have
definitely.
a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Don't eat up every question.
Jankiram, you have less than 1 minute, but I have 2 questions and 2 comments.
Yeah.
One question is, because this is sports nutrition, you need FSSAI licenses, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
we are all. We
have
have. We are in
you
the process
started
of
that?
applying.
You started that?
Yeah, we have started that.
Okay. The second one is, it's very admirable about your interest to come and pitch. I believe this is the 3rd time that you're presenting here. Of course, you'll take 1 out of it because of the competition. What is your aim? Are you trying to improve your pitching skills, or are you trying to ask for something?
No, I'm just coming for improve my pitching skills.
Doing that?
Yeah.
So then 2 comments. Okay. The text that you're using,
Yeah.
it's nice for the outline and all of that, but it's not really readable.
Okay. Okay. I'll
You
definitely.
need to simplify the font,
Yeah. Okay.
because all those extra
There's
things.
a lot of pitch deck related feedback, to be honest. So
Yeah. And one last small thing, there's a spelling mistake. You need to fix that.
Yeah.
also.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Jankiram.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So we had an unexpected situation here, and so we have to cut this session short. We don't have any more pitches unless somebody wants to share their thoughts. It's an open mic session now. You have something to say?
Yeah, since we'll ask some questions.
Yeah.
I can do a little open mic for one new thing I'm doing. So
Sure. Mike, stage is open. Whoever wants. I don't think we have those. Unless you want to use the caller mic.
I can just speak loud.
That's fine.
So, hi everybody, my name is Krishna. So, a lot of you know me for, being a part of Asian Dynamic, the R&D company out of Bharat. So, over the last few months, we've been having a lot of people approaching us for things which Asian doesn't usually want to focus on. Things like design, branding, venture, development, and those kinds of pieces. So, because we kept seeing a lot of questions coming towards us, whether it's students or other companies or other startups. So, because we had that interest coming in, I started working with a friend of mine called Ashish. He literally, in this week itself, we basically have been pushing forward and launching like a new label under which we provide these consulting services for ventures and existing companies, large and small and whatever. We do everything from like brand strategy like local launches and graphic design, web design, and a bunch of other services in the entire digital marketing space. This is something that we realize that people need a little bit of tech. Some of the things which you've developed at Asian can be used for those kinds of things, like the chatbots we built and a bunch of other stuff. But in addition to that, we thought there's a lot more we can work with the local community and beyond. And so I come from like a hardcore technical and scientific background, so you might be thinking, why is this guy doing this? But my friend is from like the management consultant world. He's launched multiple products pan-India and globally, and worked with a really large organization. So this is part of the reason why we thought, okay, hey, we can actually make this into a little idea factory where we can help other people do things better. And so that's it. So the name of the label will be Stradivarius. We will be putting up some advertisement and social media for that soon once we finalize on the logos and stuff. Imagine if we have to be a design consulting company, we have to get our own logos, right? So it's a lot of pressure. So, and trust me, like even for the name, we spent like 2 months just debating about it. And so, to a point where I said we are going to write names on an Excel sheet and we're going to sort and pick. So, that being said, we are really happy to like work with any of you. Right? I've done from like the consulting world and everything, and so we.
Thank you. That will be useful service for many of the startups in the system.
I hope so.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Actually, I was going to take up.
Substantial amount of time?
No. Yeah, you can stop me, of course. You're the boss. No, you can hear me, I think, on the. So one of the reasons why I'm here is because, as Nivakar pointed out while introducing this session, the home people came from Netherlands and spoke to the startups. One point that they mentioned is apparently the idea that most of the companies, startups that they talked to, this week, did not really know how to pitch or even talk about their startups. And so, this is something that we find surprising. Not so much that they don't know how to pitch, but that they're not making an effort to improve that. And I can understand that there are a couple of people who are basically saying we're running a business and it's just a business that we are running. We're using the space to settle ourselves down and then grow. But a lot of others are actually planning to go and raise money. Whenever there's somebody who's an investor who's coming and Ravi or Nivakar goes and says, hey, there's an investor, there are a lot of people who show up, say, oh, investor, so I want to come. But if you're not pitching properly in front of the investor, you're not pitching properly in a relaxed atmosphere where the home people were asking, so what do you do? What does your startup do? And you're not able to explain it to them properly in that relaxed atmosphere. What will you do when you're standing in front of an audience and there's a pressure of, will they give me money or will they not give me money? Will it be validated or not validated? So, as I was telling Janaki Ram, it's wonderful that, any opportunity that he gets, he's coming up here and saying, I want to pitch and I want basically to improve my pitching skills, improve what I'm doing. My question now that I feel that maybe we can talk for a few minutes to figure this out is why are so many of the startups, both here, coming to Startup Saturdays, and those startups in Ahab, why are they not, utilizing the opportunities? We had a workshop, for example, the last of our series of 8 workshops. The last of our workshops was on pitching and networking, which in my view are probably the most important skills that an entrepreneur would need. Obviously there are a lot of others, your idea, your business model, so many other things. But without an ability to go and sell to your client, and without an ability to talk to multiple people, customers, potential customers, and grow your network so that you can get grow your business, get orders, you're not really going to grow that much. So my question is, why is that happening? Why is that reluctance? What is that? 1,500 500 rupees. If I give after, maybe they'll give me a discount and I'll go and get it for 1000 rupees. If money is the barrier, or it's taking too long, you should do it in a shorter session, not a full day session. Thoughts?
Keep quiet until the end.
I think some of the things that are necessary for entrepreneurs must be forced upon.
I think another
Just have to figure out.
so
We
just
have-
to
sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead.
startup, because it's confusing people in terms of messaging. Because we are not your typical startup who's looking for a specific gap and only go there. Rather, we are managing multiple technical programs. So it's a startup in terms of like what we do in it. But in principle, it is not your typical back startup. So people's expectations are different. So if I call it an R&D company, so it was just immediate feedback like that, which was very helpful. So I'm one of the people who couldn't explain what my company does because two things. The meeting was also like I wanted specific feedback on a program that I'm trying to launch and grow, and I couldn't get that because we got stuck in like my communication about what my company does. Right? That's fine. Useful. Now I have a better way.
There is also the sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
There is also the international communication barrier, language barrier.
I mean, I'm usually
There is not just because our accent or our communication is there. Their understanding is also.
They are not
something
native speakers of English.
They're not native English speakers. That's
possible. That's also there, but I
I'm
think
just adding a.
I mean,
Go ahead.
sure, that could be the case. In Europe and everything, so I've never had that kind of issue. But different people, different experiences. I guess that is one part of it. It was very helpful for me because it made me, because we've been having this issue about communicating what we do. One of the reasons we launched this other new label is because it's getting very confusing for people about what we do. Like the chatbots I can make are useful both in like biotech kind of scenarios and even for like probably what those guys are doing. So how do I tell it? And that's why a new label, new brand under which we're throwing everything on it. So that communication is important. The final point that I want to say is I think because I'm not focused on sales right now, I don't have to, which is why I don't my lot of I every week my what am I picking, what am I not doing, what are the feedback getting from one VC or the other or somebody else. Those would be incorporated one way or the other. And so there was a continuous iteration every single week that was going on. The way I'm communicating about it, etc. So it's something that came out after a lot of trial and error and iteration. And I think maybe people are not actually pitching often enough. They're not talking to enough. They're not talking if they're looking for venture capital. And that could be one of the reasons why it's there.
Somebody is there and they're saying, we are investors, or somebody is saying that we are willing to give loans to people. The number of people who show up for that increases dramatically, at least triple, if not more than triple.
Yeah.
So it's not that people are not looking for funding. Maybe they're not looking for VC funding, but they are looking for funding. So you came in a little late. We didn't get to hear you and your introduction. You want to tell us who you are? And
Yeah. My name is Vamsi.
you can sit and talk.
So, I am working as a backend software engineer since 2 years in Vizag. So, I am working on healthcare application for UK. I am just interested in startup and that ecosystem, trying to pick a problem and trying to network with like-minded people. So, this is here. So, what got me here today is there is a power distribution hackathon.
Yes. one that he's going to come back on the 19th and we're going to make him spend 1 hour that time because, sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I got here to know more about those problem statements, and I'm actually trying to participate in that, right? Trying to find a team or know more about problem. If I can see, I can participate here.
100%. So one of the things that you could do is of and so I will add a question there for people who are saying I want to participate but I don't have team members. But are you a part of Startup Saturdays group? WhatsApp group?
I am part of it.
Why don't you post in that group saying hey, I'm looking for teammates and see if somebody shows up. Startup Saturdays is limited to startups, hackathons, anything revolving around what our hub is doing, maybe a little bit of time, and we keep it limited to certain things there. So you can do that. Any other thoughts on why we are not getting the? You talked to a lot of people during the conference. Any thoughts on why we are not getting the kind of interest for the things that we are doing? The pitching and other things?
Like when I approach like different companies at our hub, like for the MSME registrations, like people are like they just want to go with the one quick thing that they're just forwarding the MSME certificate rather than listening like what is it about. Like if they're sharing something, a certificate or whatever it might be, like confidential agreement or something, they don't want to spend much time like what we are actually about to say, like what is the ES 2020.
Yeah.
It's about aspect of the industry. They have to come attend the but people are like just go ahead and then take it. So I felt like they're not much interested in other activities and maybe they're interested only in their regular thing that they're actually doing.
But that's a good point that people seem to be focused only on what they are doing and they don't want to spend time on other things. But I want to bring up a point here. There is one company that has come and talked to us if, basically are trying to do governance, ESG related things, Hyderabad based. So they were offering things for their software, beta version of the software for testing to startups in our hub. And Interviewbuddy signed up for it. And there are things that we are progressing. And we feel that, well, we have an advantage. Deepak is well aware of ESG. And more importantly, governance is something that he and I are very interested in. But we believe that getting that certification and maybe I shouldn't compare that, right? But when we are talking to investors, when we are talking to people, I would be able to say, hey, we are ESG compliant. I mean, we follow things and we're a part of the ESG system, we are ESG compliant, we are doing this. Because more and more companies are expected to move towards that and because of interest in a better environment. And somehow that is not, I think it's a lack of awareness.
I guess question was even for the conference, it wasn't clear about like what the startups would be learning if they come for the conference. There was no agenda on the papers that were being presented. Like my own presentation which I wanted to give, I didn't hear the response until like the last 2-3 days. I was like, by then I had other plans. So there was no real communication about what the purpose of the conference was, and that is where, for me, it was a very big. I was like, why? So now that you're saying it's useful, I don't know how is it useful. I'm just curious, like other than compliance.
Yeah, for you to be able to say, hey, we are compliant with this thing, gives you an edge over everybody else, first of all, who are not compliant.
I mean,
that's in terms of somebody coming and saying, see, one of the things that companies from Europe that you've been to many times, one of the things that they've been asking for at least now 8-9 years in Visakhapatnam is, hey, talk to me about your social compliance. Tell us, you need to be compliant with that. And 90% or more of the companies in Visakhapatnam are not aware of this concept of social compliance.
I mean, I would definitely agree with that.
So, but they're expecting you to do that, and suddenly when they find that this is what is required, they don't.
But
so
I guess the other question that kind of segues for me is, I mean, I would say I'm biased because I know mostly the companies who are on the first floor also. But most of the guys on the first floor are not looking for it. They have a business they're trying to generate revenue on. We are kind of hybrid because there are things where we're trying to generate revenue and new programs where we want to raise money. Specific programs where we want to raise money. So I guess my understanding is biased where, like most of the guys I know in Hub are not really looking for venture capital. Maybe 25% is my estimate of the number of people I can think of are looking for like venture capital or some other form of funding. Rest of them are based on stuff.
But you have multiple questions, right? About the ESG conference, we can talk in detail later.
Yeah. No, I can.
No, because that is a good question to ask, and that also clarifies in my mind what I'm thinking. ESG conference we'll talk later. But in general, our hub offers several services. Looking for funding is one of them. Access to finance is one of them, right? So a company, for example, let's say a company at our hub is not looking for venture capitalists or investment of that sort. Regardless, it's not like they're floating in money. They need some sort of source from probably revenue generation through sales or services. That's fine. That means they need access to markets, or they need to crack a market that they know exists. So somehow, if they're still bootstrapping and not able to get out into the open market and have to be within our hub to survive, that means they need help. So our job now, which we are trying to figure out how to do, is to assess and understand specific needs of each company and then try to help them in that way. So this street is two-way street. As much as we try to reach out and understand each company, we expect the companies to reach out to us to explain to us what they need. That is the whole purpose of being in the incubation ecosystem, right?
No, I completely.
So there is a gap in that communication, and I'm trying to figure out how to bridge that gap. So we are going to roll out a investment readiness assessment. Pretty soon that will come out. We're calling it IRA, and IRA gives different memories, but investment readiness assessment will be rolled out, and every startup at our hub will be required to fill that, and that will be followed up with requirement for submission of your financials. At some point, I know that we will be required and thank you. That's useful. ESG conference and why it was set up and what it was supposed to do and what actually happened. But we have to end the session. Thank you all for being here and spending the time. A few announcements. We had a very successful HackAP hackathon on road transport and logistics last Sunday. All three winning teams were from VTAP. You might remember Mr. Rajesh from PBL Transport Corporation Private Limited provided problem statements for the hackathon. Now they're considering investing in some of the more viable entries. The next HackAP hackathon is on November 14th on power distribution. We will schedule problem solvers and innovators. Whether you're solving business problems or driving sustainability, TiU Hackathon 2024 offers an incredible platform for you to shine with hands-on experience, expert mentorship, and up to $22,000 in prizes. This is your chance to push your ideas to the next level. For more details, Srinivas is the Executive Director of TiE Vizag, and he has a lot of information that he can share. Our launch and level up workshop series for 2024 concluded on a high note last week. This is another of the programs that we wonder why startups at AHA don't engage. This is useful information. Have you had a chance to attend any of them?
Is it
The monthly workshop series.
that one? No. I haven't.
Yeah, it's a 2-day workshops. They're all 2-day workshops, one a month. We did it 8 workshop series this year. We are planning to repackage it into a 6 months workshops, one a month, so 6 workshops. That way we can do 2 batches in a year. That's the plan in June and July to December. They'll always be on last Tuesday and Wednesday of every month, so stay tuned to our announcements on social media and of course on WhatsApp groups. 24th and 25th. We just concluded a visit by experts from PUM Netherlands. That is a non-profit agency that offers technical assistance to agencies and organizations and governments across the world. Mick and Hank or Hank? Hank, right? Mick and Hank, the 2 seasoned experts in incubation services. They were connected to us as experts, and they were meeting with several stakeholders. They met with students, they met with startups. They didn't have a chance to meet with faculty, but with us, very long conversations over the and they were trying to they can help, and our current situation, the task is to help us manage our growth. As you all know, AHA grew very fast in 2 years, so now it's time to put together a growth management strategy so we don't lose control. Our next Startup Saturday session will be on November 2nd. We will cancel October 19th session because this is going to be tough. Who's going to be here to run it?
You will run it. Don't cancel it.
Okay, well, then Srinivas is going to figure out a plan. I'm going to be out of town, and we'll see. Participants will be here. Campus will be full. Students will be back by October 19th. We just have to figure out who's going to host it and run the program.
We'll do it.
Yeah, E4 is in their hand. For the announcement. Today we'll be talking. Is quite well known in Vizag for her advocacy to preserve our cultural and natural heritage. She has been doing this for more than a decade and draws heavily on her skills she developed during her days as the owner of Reach Marketing Services. That's a pound the pavement type of marketing services firm that was before social media. So there's a lot that she did and a lot she can share. It'll be an interesting conversation. Thank you all for the wonderful session, and we will meet again 2 weeks from now. Let's gather for